living positively, living positive, living positively, living positive.
Hi, I'm Lishe Dlamini. Welcome to the Basic Treatment Literacy series. Treatment literacy is about empowering ourselves with knowledge so that we can confidently take on the challenges of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Today's program is about the immune system, all those parts of our bodies that defend us from infection. Each germ attacks a different part of our body. The virus that causes herpes attacks the nerve endings. TB is mainly found in the lungs. The funguses that cause thrush go for the mouth and throat. When pathogens attack these organs, it is our immune system that defends us. What makes HIV so dangerous is that HIV attacks the immune system itself. It targets one of the most important parts of the immune system, our CD4 cells. The basic function of the immune system is to recognize what is part of our body and what is not part of our body, and to fight off the germs that do not belong in our body. The immune system consists of our skin and the mucous membranes of our guts and airways, and white blood cells in the blood. Let's go to Vuyiseka in the workshop.
Hello, I'm Vuyiseka Dubula, and today's topic is the immune system. It is the system that is fighting the infections. The first defense when you are getting an infection would be your skin, because you cannot get an infection besides a skin breakage. But if your skin is not broken, then the infection won't get in because you have a protection layer in your body. In the stage, we have different immune system cells. So all these cells, they play different roles in your body. If you get an infection, each cell has to do a different role than the other. But the main person who's doing that would be the CD4 cell. That would be the commander of this army. Basically, the immune system, it is born inside our body. There are parts in our bodies that are producing more of these defense systems. I'll make an example of a bone marrow that is also producing lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are one of the key important cells that are fighting infections, and also in our lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are found here and underneath our armpits and in our groin. Each time you have an infection in your body, as part of the first response that the immune system, these guys are showing you that there's an invader in this body, and you will have swollen lymphs.
Different infections enter the body in different ways. Flu and TB travel through the air. Gastro arrive with things we eat or drink. HIV and other sexually transmitted infections enters our bodies through the delicate tissues of our sex organs or through blood and cuts.
What is our immune system? Our immune system fights off infections and other diseases. It consists of our skin, mucous membranes, and white blood cells. Infections can enter via the air, food, drinks, sexual organs, and blood.
Our CD4 count is the number of CD4 cells in a single milliliter of blood. It is the number of CD4 cells that have survived being attacked by the HIV. So, of course, the more HIV attacks our CD4 cells, the fewer CD4 cells we have.
The virus kills the CD4 cells. Remember, we are talking about the immune system. And if someone is testing for HIV, everyone is interested in is how strong is my immune system. Now we are going to talk about a CD4 count because there's a relationship between the immune system and the CD4 count. What do you think is a CD4 count? Okay, Sister Mozuko?
Okay, what I understand by the CD4 count is the counting of the CD4 cells.
You are counting the CD4 cells. That would give you a sign on how much defense do you have. Once you don't have enough CD4 cells, at that point you need to take antiretrovirus. And the antiretrovirus is a medication that suppresses the virus. So as long as you are trying to push your virus down, then your immune system can also recover and your CD4 cells can start going up above 200. But is there anyone in the audience who would like to share with us who had a CD4 count that was low and then they started to get up? Just for everyone to get the point that if your CD4 count is low, that is not the end of the world. If you get medication early, your CD4 count can also go up. Okay, But Justice wants to share?
Okay. Ever since that, I was I was not so right because of TB also. So my CD4 count was very low. But when I started the ARVs, and then I was feeling very healthy and strong to be as a normal person that I was being before I have been not HIV, but now since I'm HIV, ever since my CD4 count is up now, I'm still that same person that I was before. So I'm not sick, I'm not anything, I'm just healthy.
Thanks, But Justice, for your input. And obviously, everyone now gets the point that if your CD4 count is low, it can come up with the help of the antiretrovirals. His immune system was compromised, and he was getting more infections. Remember, he said he had TB, and TB is the most common opportunistic infections that drops your CD4 count. It makes you sick. So that means he didn't have enough defense. So his immune system was low. And then now he's taking antiretrovirus. He's feeling more healthier than before. He's feeling normal because his CD4 count now went up to 600. So if your immune system is low, with the help of medication, it can go up again.
The CD4 count is the number of the CD4 cells in a single milliliter of blood. When your immune system is under attack, the CD4 count goes down. When your immune system gets stronger, then the CD4 count gets up. Let's hear the story of Thobani Nqaphayi and how his health recovered once he started ARVs and his CD4 cell count went up.
Hello, Thobani.
Good morning, Doctor.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. I'm okay, thanks. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Are you having any problems today?
No problem so long since I've been starting antiretroviral treatment.
Yeah. Okay. When did you start the ARVs?
It was in 2001. It was the 11th of July.
11th of July.
Yeah, 11th of July. Yeah.
So do you remember the CD4 count before treatment, before 2001?
In the year between 99 and 2000, my CD4 count it was 195.
195.
Yes.
So as the CD4 count goes below 200, I worry because that means the immune system is weak and a person can start to get opportunistic infections. So that means they can get pneumonias, diarrhea, thrush, some cancers, the more serious types of TB, and sometimes HIV-related confusion. In 2001, you were vomiting, you were having the running stomach.
Yes.
And your weight?
My weight, it was plus minus 25 kilograms.
25 kilograms.
Yes, I was very, very, very sick.
Yeah.
Very sick and very weak.
Yeah.
As you see, my body is thin, but it's my...
Your weight now, your last weight, it was almost 50 kilograms, the last one.
Yeah, each and every month, my weight is growing now.
Yeah.
But when I was supposed to start treatment, my CD4 count was 178.
Right, that's right, yeah.
But I've started with AZT, 3TC, and nephropin. After 3 months, my CD4 count was 371. Yeah, and the viral load was lower than detective.
Yeah. Do you remember your viral load before treatment?
Before treatment, my viral load, it was 240,000 copies.
That's right. Yeah, that's very high. That tells us that there's a lot of HIV in the blood.
Yes.
So the viral load tells us how much HIV. So 240,000 copies in every drop of blood. That's a lot of HIV.
Yeah, because I was very sick.
Yeah. The HIV viral load that tells us how much HIV is in the blood. As the HIV goes down, the CD4 count slowly goes up. It's not quick, it happens very slowly.
Yeah, it's so slowly.
In 2001, you started the ARVs, and the viral load went from 240,000 down to undetectable. And ever since, it's undetectable.
Yes.
I put down all your CD4 blood test results on this graph. So in this side, we have the CD4 count here between 0 and 800, and this measures time. And because the HIV stopped growing, the CD4 count slowly goes up. So in 2002, it went up to 371, and then 2003, it was 600, and now this year, it's up to 738. So I'm happy that you're doing well now.
I'm happy too.
What is a CD4 count? The number of CD4 cells in 1 milliliter of blood. Our CD4 count goes down when our immune system is weak. A low CD4 count puts us at risk of getting opportunistic infections. It tells you the right time to start ARVs.
Antiretroviral therapy prevents the HIV virus from copying itself. This allows the CD4 cells to multiply again. Our CD4 count goes up. Now we can easily fight many of the small infections that take advantage when our immune system is weak and we feel well again. Let's see how this works by comparing how our immune systems work normally and then seeing what happens when it has been hit by HIV. Parts of the immune system, called the adaptive immune system, learns to recognize certain kinds of invaders, including viruses, and becomes better and better at fighting them. Our CD4 cells are part of this adaptive immune system. The CD4 cells are tiny cells in the blood that work alongside other cells to defend our bodies against infections.
Adaptive immune system. The immune system recognizes certain kinds of germs. It is made up of different immune cells, including CD4 cells. CD4 cells help defend our bodies against infections. CD4 cells are like generals of the immune system army.
There are different cells that work together to fight off germs. In this example, the cells that are doing the work are macrophages, the CD4 cells, and the B cells. And the enemies are bacteria that cause pneumonia. A macrophage can see that the pneumonia bacteria is an enemy. So when it runs into one, it engulfs or eats the bacteria. But the macrophage now wants to tell the other immune cells that there are pneumonia bacteria around. So it takes a piece of the bacteria called the antigen and shows it to the CD4 cells. This is called antigen presentation. Now the CD4 cells is on alert. Meanwhile, a B cell also runs into a pneumonia bacterium, also eats it, and also presents antigen to the CD4 cell. The CD4 cells now know for sure there is an enemy around. The CD4 cells call the other B cells, which produce markers called antibodies, which codes the bacteria. The antibodies make it much easier for the macrophages, the bee-killing cells, to see the bacteria, and they move in bigger numbers and eat all the pneumonia bacteria that have been marked with antibodies.
The healthy immune system. Macrophage and B cells recognize and eat bacteria. Immune cells present bacterial antigens to CD4 cells. CD4 cells are alerted and prepare immune cells to fight bacteria.
That's how the immune system works in someone who is healthy. But what changes in our immune systems when we are infected with HIV? Here are those pneumonia bacteria again, and here's a macrophage. It can recognize some pneumonia bacteria by itself, and it tries to present the pneumonia antigen to the CD4 cells. But many of the CD4 cells have been killed by HIV, so there are fewer CD4 cells to respond to the macrophage presenting antigens, and fewer to respond to the B cells presenting antigens. So the B cells don't get instructions to produce antibodies. Without help from the B cells' antibodies, the macrophages miss most of the bacteria. The bacteria continues to increase, and so does HIV. The HIV even attacks the macrophages, which also have the CD4 receptors. The result is the HIV and the pneumonia germs are beating the immune system. The life of the human being is in danger. So, as you can see, the CD4 cell is at the heart of how the immune system recognizes different germs, and it is at the heart of directing other immune cells to respond to infections. That is why when HIV reduces the number of CD4 cells, it makes us vulnerable to opportunistic infections. Fortunately, there are things we can do to help our CD4 cells.
HIV-infected immune system. HIV attacks the CD4 cells. CD4 cells no longer respond to macrophage and B cells presenting antigens. HIV cripples and kills CD4 cells. HIV attacks other immune cells, slowly defeating the immune system. The immune system becomes vulnerable to opportunistic infections. The life of the HIV-infected person is in danger.
ARVs are the only way to repair an immune system that has been damaged by HIV. However, To keep your immune system strong, it is also important to eat healthily and often, exercise regularly, ensure we relax often and deal with stress, practice safer sex, reduce the number of cigarettes and alcoholic drinks we have, become treatment literate, and get early and effective treatment for all illnesses.
Keeping your immune system healthy. Eat healthily and often. Exercise regularly. Ensure we relax often and deal with stress. Practice safer sex. Reduce the number of cigarettes and alcoholic drinks we have. Become treatment literate. Get early and effective treatment for all illnesses.
Today, we've learned that our immune system consists of our skin, our lymph nodes, our bone marrow, and the white cells in our blood. We've seen how the different white blood cells respond when pneumonia, TB, or other infections try to attack. We've learned that the CD4 cells are key to our body's response to infection. Without CD4 cells, our immune systems are like armies without generals. Finally, we've seen that our CD4 cell count can recover from the effects of HIV when HIV is suppressed by antiretrovirals. When the CD4 cell count recovers, we can recover our health. Thanks for watching. Try to pass on what you've learned about HIV and the immune system to other people. Let's support each other in beating HIV. Goodbye.